Hello and welcome to 4,000 and counting. I'm Watty. This is Mark. First of all, we're gonna apologise. It's been a little hot minute since we've been able to deliver you guys some content. I've got Mark out of the weeds. I think his work have basically kidnapped him and held him hostage for like the last fortnight. He's just been locked in a broom cupboard at fucking work somewhere, and he's not been allowed out. But he's allowed out to play for a little while today, so we're gonna do a roundup for you. Mark, nice to see you, mate. Obviously, you missed the last couple. We had Pluzy on, and I can't even remember who else. Who else has been recent? But that's really
Oh,
bad. I've only just done
yeah,
it.
that's
I've only just
shocking.
done it. God, my brain's gone. Tomo, we had Tomo on.
Oh no, we had oh
I'm going. I'm having to check.
Telford player.
Oh, Flatsy, well done. Yeah, so guys, if you
There
haven't
we go.
already, check out Paloozi's episode, check out Flatsy's episode. Both good for different reasons. Both at that sort of age where they tell stories a little bit more. So if you're into story time with the boys, jump in on that. And also, Flatsy had some interesting things to say about the EIHA when he got his face mangled by a Tom Carlon pass. He also had some cool things to talk about, like time with the MK Thunder and stepping down to that league and how he sees their kind of pathway and stuff like that. And then, Ploozy's just Ploozy. He was a beauty. He was fun from start to finish. I'm talking about him and his old man getting down in the Floyd Taylor testimony. Do you see it? He had the belt on.
Yeah,
He's got the belt. He's giving
brilliant.
it the big champ. But it was so funny. I was still talking to Scott on the night. He'd like dyed his hair. He looks so fucking young, man. He's got like he had the mullet going and the sick goatee and the tash and that. But he looks like Tyler's brother, let alone his old man. It was fucking good to see. Good to see him in good nick. Mark, loads been happening in UK hockey. Some big moves and players move into different teams. Some coaching moves that did not see coming. And we've had Team GB, we've had Lord Stanley Cup in the house. We've had all sorts of stuff going on. The EIHA showcase starts this weekend. Let's dive into some signings first of all. George Norcliffe has left the Bainstoke Bison and he is heading to the Raiders. That is a huge pickup for them.
Solid signing. Solid.
Yeah, very good. I personally was surprised that he didn't end up in Swindon, but we'll figure that out a little bit later when we get into Swindon's new signing. It seems to be a merry-go-round with three guys at a similar talent level, point level, guys that have chopped around. It's making it a little bit more interesting. Norcliffe will do a fantastic job. You put him with the right players there at the Raiders, he's gonna do really good things. If you can get him to stop leaving his mouth guard half out of his mouth when he's playing, that would be amazing. Skates around and like just that. I don't know. Like part of me, like when I was playing, I'd be like, I want to run that guy so he swallows his mouth guard. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's just hanging out. It's like what I used to do. I used to like pull my sleeves up to like my elbow pads.
Yeah.
Chinny's like, he's just Chinny plays with me. He's like, "What if I see that skin, man? I'm gonna fucking two-hand it." I'm like, back down she goes. Lesson learned. But yeah, it's just a funny little player quirk. He's obviously gone there, which means someone must leave, and that's Harry Gulliver. He's left Raiders and headed to MK. That's a big loss for the Raiders and a huge pickup for MK.
Agreed there. He really fits into MK in the way they play as well. I think banners on the wall. I think Anthony also picked up on that too.
Yeah, he's gonna fit in very well at MK. He's got bags and bags of talent, bags of potential still. He's still quite young, you know. He's gonna go on to have a very good career. Would like to see him eventually go back into the elite league. He looked very good for Romford. Big ice in MK as well. He can use his speed, he can use his hands, he'll get a lot of points there. Hasn't been announced yet, but I mean surely Norris is going to Belfast, isn't he? So
Surely.
you've got to have someone to replace Shawnee. There's other guys that are arguably definitely going to leave there as well, and that will come out over the next few weeks. I'm surprised that Romford didn't do more to keep Harry, but I imagine they probably couldn't match the offer that MK were going to make for him.
Yeah, and they're going to have a huge turnaround as well, I think, this summer, MK, with a few guys moving on. So when you've got a guy like Gulliver of that caliber coming there, that's going to be, yeah, like you say, one of those kind of moments where it sort of separates the sides, because MK have always had decent budget and Raiders, I'm not so sure. I think they're quite like sort of Sheffield level, Steel Dogs level.
Yeah, they're more towards the bottom end of the budget table than they are the top, and that's what makes their performance last year all that more impressive.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to see how Sean builds a team this year, because he's going to lose a couple of pieces. I think bringing Norcliffe in with Gulliver going is a very good start. He'll be there or thereabouts point production wise, and just the way he plays the game, I think he's going to be able to skate the puck for Romford, which is massive. Having someone that can take that puck, pick it up in their own zone, gain a zone, take it to the far zone, just give you time on pucks, it's crucial. So the third big move in that league, Glenn Billen has left the Phantoms. Now, I didn't see this coming. I genuinely didn't see it coming. Obviously, we knew we knew who Norks was talking to, so Raiders was always going to be a potential. Gulliver to MK seemed like the worst kept secret in the league, and this one though, I think we both said it when we did. Obviously, we interviewed Glenn and we talked about the Phantoms quite a bit in the lead up to the Cup and then in the playoffs. And I believe we said it on one of these videos prior that keeping him would be so crucial for Phantoms.
yeah.
And they
Big
haven't
time.
managed to do that. So I don't know who they signed to replace him. I imagine, what are we saying? Ross Venus to MK, right?
Yeah.
So that rules him out. And when you look at Billen leading the Phantoms in points last year, you can't just replace him with anybody. You need to replace him with a like for like guy. You know,
And a
Gulliver.
Brit that hasn't already been signed as well. A top
Yeah,
Brit that hasn't already been signed, and I don't think there's a huge amount available. I could
no,
be
they're
wrong on that, but I think
few and
quite a
far
lot of
between,
the,
aren't they?
yeah,
They are few and far between. And you take Norcliffe off the table. Who else is leaving Basingstoke? Liam Morris is leaving Basingstoke. He could do some damage somewhere. There's a couple of guys. Obviously, Doughty's gone to Bracknell. I'm just wondering where these guys that are going to replace someone like Glenn Billing is going to come from. Slava will have something up his sleeve, no doubt about it.
sure.
He'll have something up his sleeve. He'll be interesting to see if he just goes with that extra import forward.
That's what I'm thinking. The only thing that you can sort of replace Billing with right now is an import forward
Yeah,
with the
I think
points
that's pop.
production, especially.
Well, and then you look at their D. They've already got Barron back. They've already
Yeah,
got Norton back.
no,
They've got Salisbury back. Thorpe's back. Like all their young kids, all their up and comers, they're all back. Plus, you've added Norts again, phenomenal D man. So their D are going to be okay. Maybe
yeah.
they do. Maybe they go with 3 import forwards, and they don't have to worry about replacing Billing in that respect. They shore up the roster elsewhere. What else have we got? Because there's been a couple more signings. Ethan James, our boy, he's back at the Raiders, as is Mr. Dewey himself, former Bison captain, went over there. A very successful first season for them. Both good signings for the Raiders. And that's another import netminder spot gone. Everyone keeps talking about these netminders and are we going to go imports? Well, the Marboys both back. Gospel's back. McLaughlin's back. Now we've had Headley. Sorry, there's another signing for today. Headley back at MK.
Yeah.
James back at Raiders. So there's 60% of the league going with their British goalies already. And then I believe I know who Bristol's goalie is going to be. And that's a Brit. That takes another. Telford, haven't heard anything. I'm not sure whether they go Brit or they go import, but Brad Day was pretty good last year, so I don't see why they would change him. And then that only leaves the Dogs, who will be announcing their goalie at their end of season due on Saturday. They'll be announcing that then, so that'll be interesting. I'll keep that one under wraps for now. And yeah, that only leaves one other team that I'm blanking on who it is. Who could it be? Oh, it leaves the Bees. That leaves the Bees.
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't think they're going with an import netminder straight away. And I'll just leave it there. stick a little rod in the water, a little bit of fishing. I don't think they go with an import netminder straight away. I know that much. So there will be no import netminders in the National League to start in September, I believe.
Great news.
Great news. Yeah, 100%. I know the boys will be happy. Dan Weller Evans will be fucking chirping people on Twitter right now. Be like, take it, bitches. But yeah, like the lots of the goalies were when we shared some stuff, they were all over it because as much fun as it is, and you can learn from import goalies and stuff. Our goalies are good enough in that league right now to continue producing good hockey games every weekend.
Definitely. And when you've got that extra import, they've got a lot more shots to try and stop. So
Yeah,
that's gonna give them their development.
yeah,
So
I agree. I'm all for the extra import. I can't wait. I'm glad it's not going to be goalies. As much as I have zero issue with like playing against an import goalie and stuff, I just think to make the league better as a whole, 10 extra guys out on the rink is going to make a huge difference. Every player bringing in one extra import is going to make a big difference. Be interested to see what route the teams go down. Do they go Euro? Do they go North American? Do they go a mix? Do they try and bring, two or three guys out of like the collegiate system, i.e. like Tower and Gale? They came out at the same place. Obviously, one ended up in Bainstoke, one ended up in Swindon. Just interesting to see where the imports come from next year and who capitalizes. Obviously, we saw Ryan Aldridge. The 3 imports that he signed last year were a joke.
yeah, like so.
Like so, obviously you lose Cooper. He goes in and brings in another stud. Like it's another stud. Like so, all these hot on his recruiting, and obviously his scouting network and whoever he's talking to is very good. So I'm really excited to see what they bring in as a third import. Have we got anything else? Oh yeah. Well, speaking of Leeds, actually, we do have something else. We have Finn Braden, no
Oh
longer
yeah.
no longer on a 2-way full time. This is good news. He
Yeah.
is most certainly a full-time National League level player. Would eventually like to see him go on, cut his teeth here for a couple of years and potentially start skating with an elite league team somewhere. We need to be getting some young guys wanting to take that route. And if we can get that into him early, he's definitely got the talent.
All day, and a lot of people have said the same thing. It's really good to see him full time in an organisation like Leeds. He's going to learn off a lot of those guys. So
Yeah,
it's a
I
great move for him.
couldn't agree more. Yeah, kind of glossed over it there, but Jordan Headley's back with MK. James Griffin's back with MK. Callum
That's
Fields
a
back with
big signing.
MK. They've been smart. They've been very smart. He's in the top 3 goalies in that league without a doubt. Still obviously away on Great Britain national duty right now up in Nottingham. 3rd goalie, but what an experience for him. Getting to be
Definitely.
around that and at that level every day on practice every day. It's a great experience. He's going to take that back into next year. He's going to be hungry. He's going to want to be there again because, well, the goalie's got to come from somewhere with GB, right? And he's one of the names that's in the mix, and he'd like to stay there. Have we got anything else in the national? Have I missed
Yeah,
any?
we have. We've missed one, not a player, but a former player that has left the Steel Dogs.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wow. Talking about stuff that we didn't see coming, and bravo to Sheffield. You kept this close to your chest and did not really hear anything about it, but they've decided to go in a new direction after 2 years with Woody. Woody obviously been very successful as a coach with the Steel Dogs. We've always sung his praises on this show before for what a good coach he is, and
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see who they go with. Do they go with, I don't know, Jason Hewitt? Ashley Tate's now on the market that Basingstoke have gone. Is he interested? Does Jonathan Phillips, although he's retired from the Steelers and stuff, to go and get, I know he's going to be working with kids in schools and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe he fancies a little part-time gig. I don't know what this different direction is. Do you have any takes on it?
It blew us out the water, didn't it, really, when we
Yeah, I
heard the
wasn't expecting
news.
it.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. Both directions as well. I'm not sure where Woody's going either. Hopefully, he's got himself a great spot in the Elite League somewhere. That'd be nice to
He'd be
hear.
a great assistant coach in the Elite League. That would be
Yeah, all day.
fantastic. I mean, we talked about it before. Andy Hemming's done it with They go down in
Guildford.
Guildford, and if we could get Woody into an assistant coach role somewhere in the elite league, that's only going to improve his development. It's going to get him some better connections and stuff like that with players, with agents, with people from North America, from Europe. Just because that's, you're around those guys, and all of a sudden your portfolio becomes bigger. It'd be interesting. Or does he potentially go to one of the teams in the league below in the NIHL one and build them up? And it's hard because obviously all the other coaches up north, Telford are going to keep Tommy, Peterborough are going to keep Slava, Ryan's going to stay in Leeds, Matty's going to stay in Hull. So there's going to be no coaching changes from up north. We know Gabaj is
with the
in the
bees.
bees. Shawnee's with the Raiders. Aaron's with Swindon. Jamie's down in Bristol. I think all the coaches in that league are already signed, so I don't know where Woody ends up. This is why. Does he go down? Obviously, Tony's now gone to Whitley. There's one of the bigger clubs in there. We've got Dom's at Blackburn. I don't know, mate. Like, it's really interesting to see where he ends up. Does he then?
The elite.
Yeah, maybe he goes elite.
Going by that logic, that's why I said elite straight away. Like, there's no doubt in his ability. He deserves to be at that level for everything that he's done with the Dogs, especially on their budget, bringing through the youth as well, which is another big thing that he's done in that neck of the woods. Yeah, I'd like to see him as in the assistant role.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad take at all. I think that would not only develop him as a coach, it would put another Brit in the elite league mix, and this is what we need. We need more Brits, more Brit coaches in and amongst it, and he'd be a good way to start. Were any of those three names? And I mean, by the way, it might not be any of those three names. That's just some of the stuff that's going around on Twitter. Any of those three names? Anyone you'd prefer to see or like to see out of those, or maybe someone else in the mix?
Honestly, I don't know.
No, it's a hard one. Ali and crew, Jane and all those guys up there, they've got a tough decision to make.
It must
summer.
be the only thing. It would be Huey potentially. I would have said Morgan would have made a great coach as well, but he's probably with his career outside of hockey. I don't know if that would be
big. That's the thing. Huey's got a big career outside of hockey. Morgan's his teacher. They've all got kids and family and stuff like that.
Organization. Honestly, I reckon Morgs would be I don't know the guy personally, but just the way he plays, the way he leads, I've always thought he'd be a good coach.
Well, Morgs coached before Woody, didn't he? And then Woody took over from Morgs, and
oh yeah, how could I forget that?
Yeah, so he's done it. He's got a bit of experience in coaching. Whether he would want to do that this late in his career, who knows? He's too busy eating fucking pucks and getting hit in the collarbone, like just taping his body back together after games. But I mean, you could do it a lot worse than Ben Morgan, that's for sure. But that's not for me, that's not a new direction, is it, though? They said they want to take the club in a new direction.
I don't know who you're recruiting then, but best of luck to him.
Yeah, it's going to make it interesting. Gives us something to talk about. Let's move on. So the EIHA Showcase starts this weekend. This is the first edition of this tournament, no longer the conference tournament. And we're going to reserve judgment. We've done a little video. If you haven't seen it, we talked about it when it was first released and the idea. We'll be giving a video next week on how it went and the opinions and if it was a success, if it wasn't a success, and some feedback from some players and stuff like that we'll be getting. I've talked to a couple of the Basingstoke juniors and lads that I kind of know just from around here, and they don't seem so sure when they see some of these names. They're like, because obviously they release a list of say 80, and he said to me there's 40 guys that shouldn't be on that list.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's fucking a lot. So how tight are these games going to be? How competitive? They tried to do this to make sure it wasn't like conference where you could get blowouts, and there's no guarantee that that's not going to happen. So be interesting to see how the showcase goes. Have you frozen? No, there you are. It's just sort of frozen in time. They
No,
come back.
you were in robot mode for a while, but
I was just
it's a,
saying, sorry,
go
it's just a technical glitch. I was just saying, be interested to see how this showcase goes because it's the first time they are trying something new. Is it going to work? Well, that leads to this weekend, and we'll find out if it works, and we'll find out if it produces players, if the games are good quality. Are you going to be keeping an eye on it? You got any interest in the juniors or some of these young studs coming through?
Yeah, all day. I'm all for seeing the Brits come through and develop, and it's nice to see a showcase happen and
Yeah,
see where it goes from there. And if it doesn't work this year because it was a new system, then alter it for next year. As long as we keep trying to make things better, I'm all for it.
yeah, I agree. What else has been happening? Oh, GB. We're going to do a
Yes.
separate. We're doing a separate GB video on our own, but we'll kind of just it is a roundup. So they are 4 games into their tournament already. We are sitting recording this at 9:51 on our basically it's essentially cup final day. We are playing Italy this evening for all the marbles. 1 point will do. 3 points will secure gold, and we will be back to the top table. I'm excited, mate. Not gonna lie, buzzing a little bit.
Yeah, nervous, buzzing.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of nervous
It's
because
Italy, man. It's Italy. Whenever I think of Italy, it just makes me panic.
yeah,
That's all I can say.
I'm hoping we can get the point that we need. We haven't really looked like conceding many in this tournament at all. We've had 3 shutouts, which we'll get into in the other video. So if you want that, come back later and there'll be another video for you to get you in the mood for tonight's game. Right. Speaking of getting in the mood for games, charity game. If you go to www.ticketlab.co.uk/4000 and counting #/ you will be able to get your tickets for the game Saturday, 5th of August, over in Slough, 5 p.m. start, 9 p.m. finish. Drinks followed at the Windsor and Eton Brewery. So if anybody that's been around Bracknell or they sponsor the Bees, it's 2 miles away from the rink, pretty much just into Windsor, and they're gonna lay some beers on and stuff after. So we're gonna head back there after the game. If you haven't seen this week, 4 announcements yesterday: Josh Kelly, Deacon Fielder, Owen Sobchak, and Elliot Lewis. 4 guys in the mix. We're going to be announcing. Well, fuck it, I'll do it right now. Owen Dell. There you go. There's another announcement for you guys. Owen Dell. We came back from Canada last year, America. Sorry.
Yeah.
Had a very good season over there. Came back, played for Invicta, won the cup. Looked impressive in his time there. He was impressive in the semi-final against Chelmsford, and yeah, he's a good egg. He's a good kid, and obviously he's been on the show. If you haven't listened to his episode, go check it out. He played in the charity game last year. I thought he did a great job. So Owen's in the mix as well. That is exciting news. We've got our jerseys pretty much. The designs will be with us. I imagine by next week at the latest. As soon as the designs go out, we'll be letting you guys know, doing a separate video for that. Mark, what do you think of the theme? We can tell the people what the theme is.
No, I don't think we should do it yet.
No? What do you think of the
Nah,
theme then? What do you think of the theme?
love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah,
This is going to surprise a few people. I think we can give away a sort of clue with the retro jerseys.
yeah. Well, it's going to be retro as fuck, right? Yeah, but don't think NHL retro, because then you'll be way too off. Yeah, I'm buzzing for it, mate. I think charity games is obviously going to be a big success. Shout out to Julie Miles and Slough for making it happen. We really appreciate their help. We are going to be taking on sponsors. I think the jersey title sponsor's gone, but if you can look at Mark's jersey behind you, you can see on like the shoulder patches and stuff there. No, not that one, mate. The
Capitals one.
Right. So obviously you can see they've got their big sponsor logo right there in the front. So essentially that sponsorship's gone. But what we are going to have is like the shoulder patches up top where you can see we're going to have some smaller sponsorships just to help bridge the gap. And we're also going to be looking for a sock sponsor this year. With 50 guys, it's a lot. We've managed to blag our way through using the first year's socks through the last game. But with the colours of the jerseys this year, just not going to fucking get away with it. Not going to get away with it, and I don't want it to look like amateur hour with guys with their summer skate socks on. So we'd be looking for a sock sponsor. I think it's going to be around £500 to £600. That would get you to sponsor the socks. With that, we will chuck a logo on the jersey as well. So if you're sponsoring the socks, we'll make sure that you're represented on the jersey as well as all our pre-lead up and post-event videos and content and all that sort of stuff. So we'll be in touch with people who are interested in sponsoring. Speaking of sponsoring, friend of the show, client, and all-round good egg and crazy bastard, my boy Barry and 3 of his pals. Next month, let me just get the details right up here. Next month, you know we love a bit of golf on this pod. They're taking on a crazy challenge. So on the longest day, it is notorious that people try and play 72 holes of golf, right? Not a new thing. Not a new thing by any stretch of the imagination, right? You get up, you tee off at the crack of dawn, and you play all day. And that's 4 rounds for anyone that's counting. So 4 rounds on your own course with 0 movement. That's tough. That's tough going. Well, these boys just decide to up the ante. They're going to do 4 rounds, 1 in England, 1 in Ireland, 1 in Scotland, 1 in Wales in 24 hours. Planes, trains, and automobiles, fucking boats and ferries and all sorts of stuff. And they're going to be raising money for the British Heart Foundation, which is a great cause. In memory of a good friend of theirs who sadly suffered a cardiac arrest last year and passed away. He was a big guy into the kind of golf world. And, you know, Barry's a Cardiff fan. He went to uni down there. He's well involved with the hockey. He loves the podcast. And it's actually funny how he ended up being a PT client as Vida's podcast. He listened and was, oh, yeah, maybe I'll just message him about some PT. And the fact that these guys are doing that and they're doing it for British Heart Foundation's awesome. It's actually been publicized in Golf Monthly. So for anyone that's a golf nerd, Golf Monthly is like the magazine. And they're sharing it. It's pretty cool. They've got like a European tour photographer and like videographer going with him. He's going to be following around, filming all the content. And on a selfish point of view, I know they're getting some like pro golfers involved in the mix. I want to interview some of those boys. So let's help these guys out. We'll be sharing their kind of their GoFundMe link and stuff like that, and links to how you can donate to them. And I will say, guys, please do get involved. It's not often we share stuff from elsewhere. But if you remember when I did the 24 and 24 back in November, raising money for the Christmas toy drive for 4,000 counting, Barry had that in all his golf group chats. I believe it was like £850, £900 that they raised for us. If we could help them on their way to their, I think it's a 10 grand target. I think if we can help them on their way to the 10 grand target, that would be awesome. And let's face it, we all know someone that's either died of cardiac arrest, had a heart attack, heart failure, or, you know, sadly we will know them in the future. So it's a great cause, and it's one eventually that we would like to actually help on the podcast in one of our charity games. It's just not fell into the mix so far. That being said, we do have good charities, and they'll be getting announced. Oh, what are we on, the 5th? I think maybe we'll make you wait 2 weeks. Let's go maybe like the 20th. I think maybe the 20th. That's kind of like 10 weeks before. We'll let you know what the charities are. We're going to be drabbing it out. There's going to be some jerseys, and there's going to be some charities and some players. Maybe we're going to get a couple of the guys on for interviews. We'll be letting you know sponsors, and, you know, just it's a lot to plan, but it's going to be exciting. The fact that we've already got like 7 of the players' jerseys reserved, and we haven't even said how much they're going to be or a jersey design. You know, we've got some fans that are all over these guys, and the fact that they're coming to support the event, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Quickly before we head off and do our GB video for you lovely people, we've got a couple of bits of news in the Elite League, mainly just from the Dundee Stars. Mark Lefay back as head coach, very good move. I think Mason had a tough gig there last year, but Lefay's a fan favourite. He's been there before. He's well versed. He's been in the Elite League at several different places, and as a both player and a coach, I think he's going to be very good for the Stars, and he's been smart. First thing he did, Chris Inglis, he signed him up, 5-year vet from Dundee. He's been in the Elite League 5 years. Likes to throw knucks. So if you got a
Love
British
it.
kid that's fucking 6'3" and 94 kilos and doesn't mind fighting the imports, all over that. I think that's cool. And these are the two big ones. So Jonathan McBain he's got the full-time contract. He is the one of five. He's one of five Brits. He's there. And obviously we had Gary Bryan on. His son Lucas has been out playing in North America. He's now come back as backup for the Stars. So that means that Priest is on the move for anyone that's keeping score. And for anyone that might see him rocking up at a team near them very soon. No spoilers on this show. No spoilers on this show. But I think if he moves down to the national, he's going to be good. I've seen him a few times for Dundee last year. Big boy, tall, fucking ugly right-handed catch. Goalies at right-handed catch. Give me a... It's such an ick. Right-handed catch, and it's so weird. I can't... That's a blocker hand. I don't know, it's just weird. But great for a lefty to come down and you're right-handed catch. That's the top titties, like right there on the catcher side, and you got to love that. But the Stars, they've come out, they've announced a few of their Brits, 3 of their Brits so far. Interested to see if Rutgers goes back there, or do they go down another route, or where does Rutgers end up? He's a good player. I think he was getting like pretty decent ice time last year, so be interesting to see where he goes. And then just finally, Matt Greenfield back with the Sheffield Steelers. Shock. Like in his exit meeting, they should have just said, "What do you want?" There you go.
Exactly.
Done and done. Don't even let him get out. I wouldn't even let him get out the door. Be like, right, this is our exit meeting, and this is what we're going to give you. No, not enough. How much do you want? Okay, cool. This is what we're going to give you them, because he was so good for them.
Yeah, and now they can start to build their team knowing that they've actually got a solid goalie.
One of the best in the league. And when you look at the goaltending in the Elite League last year, to be one of the best of those bunch, you're a very good goaltender. Because there were some good goalies in the league last year.
Yeah.
Talk like Shane Owen finishing on like the 9th place Flyers, 91.8 save percentage or something. Like the goalies are all up and down the league are good. What do you make of the move for Lucas Bryan coming back to be a backup? Is it a bit of a sideways step for you? Game time so valuable.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Young. He's young.
He's young, so he's ideally national would have been great, so that he's got regular ice time. But again, like we spoke about, where do you put him?
I don't think he would get. He wouldn't get a starting job in the national.
Then there we go. So I don't know. Maybe if he wouldn't get a starter in the national, then to be back up in the elite is probably not so bad.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's going to see some ice time, but how much?
I hope so.
I don't know.
I really do hope he develops and keeps.
That's the main thing.
Get opportunities. As long as he gets opportunities, it's down to him to take them.
Yeah.
You know, if he gets chucked, the goalie gets injured, and he gets chucked in for a weekend, he gets 2 wins and a bit of confidence, and these things they make a big difference in his development. But I think that's all of it. That's all the news for this week. I'm sure we forgot some stuff, but we'll be seeing you guys and girls again very, very soon. We are annoyingly sitting on 899 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed, click the fucking button.
Yeah, get us to 1,000, please.
Come on, help us out here. Like, Jesus. If I see 899 on my screen one more time, I'm going to fucking flash. Like, we're so close. Let's get to that. Let's get that 1,000 point. We're going to be rolling here. We're going to be bringing more content, so please do subscribe. Go check out Flatsy's interview. Go check out Plusy's interview. We are going to be coming. Mark's got a much better schedule next week, so we're going to be like crazy interviews for you people. We're gonna be bringing you some GB boys post tournament, and hopefully we're going to be talking about winning a gold medal at home and going to Prague, going to Czech next year, and also we'll be looking at Airbnbs if that's the case. Let's go, baby! Road trip to Czech. You know we're making that happen.
Oh yeah,
that'd be so much fun. Fuck yeah, sign me up, guys, girls. Thank you very much. Make sure you follow us on social media. Peace.
Go further, go faster, get fitter with Hurricane e-bikes. The only UK company to offer a lifetime warranty covering battery, LCD screen, motor, and all components. No servicing costs, no need to buy, no interest costs, no long-term agreement, no maintenance costs, no worries, lifetime warranty. How it works: you select your bike, you add accessories, you confirm details, and it's on its way. And don't forget to tell them that you were sent by 4,000 and counting. So go to www.hurricane.bike and you can find more information there.
Don't forget, it's Hurricane with an E. Check them out right now.